some places you just fall in love with immediately. It's like love at first sight, right? Unfortunately, Kyoto was not one of them for me. Good morning, welcome to Kyoto, the cultural capital of Japan. People say that in order to see real authentic Japan, or well, at least old traditional Japan, you absolutely have to come here. After amazing time in Tokyo, I made it to Japan's old capital, Kyoto. I arrived at midnight, so I went straight to bed, and then the next day I woke up to very heavy rains and basically the worst possible weather conditions you can imagine when exploring a new place. So I'm here in my moji socks and my new kimono, still chilling on my bed because one, it's raining outside. People also say that rain might elevate your experience here in Kyoto, but I do not like rain. Okay, there's only one thing that can get me out of this bed, and that's matcha and Japanese sweets. Let's go. First stop of the day. That is much better. Now we can start. So this is it. This is the place where I'm gonna get myself some matcha. It looks really cute. Oh yeah, it is very soft. So I got myself some matcha and a Japanese sweet. Matcha is definitely something that you need to do in Kyoto because Kyoto is also really known for their matcha. And this place is so beautiful. It's basically this very traditional, beautiful Japanese house. And it has very good ratings, but there was no line at all. Because there are some really popular matcha places. I think there's this place called like literally Matcha House or something like that. That is super popular for their matcha, like desserts as well. But the line is usually like an hour long, and that is not my thing. Like I love food, but I'm not gonna stand in a line for an hour for food, unfortunately. So if you're just like me, I highly recommend this place. Okay, let me try the matcha. It's nice. Look how beautiful is this bright green color. Also, I love how they give you like this wooden stick to eat your, like, what do I do? Did I, oh, maybe I got. Ooh, look at this. Oh my god. I do like red bean soup for meat. So good, very good. And now a sip of matcha. The whole point of drinking matcha or green tea with your sweets here is that matcha obviously has like a little bitter taste, so it kind of is a nice like break from sweets. I love that in Japan you often get your bill like with your order, so let's see how much it's gonna be. Okay, that is a bit less than $6 US. That was such a good experience. I very, very highly recommend this place. And now we're gonna head over to Ninenzaka and Sannenzaka, which are two historical alleys in the heart of Old Town here in Kyoto. Also, fun fact, when I sat on the toilet, it started making this sound like a mountain river sound. It was pretty cool. Even here in Japan, I've never seen anything like this before. Sure elevated my peeing experience. First observation of Kyoto is that there is basically a kimono rental shop on top of kimono rental shop here. This is a very popular like tourist attraction here, both for foreign tourists but also for Japanese people. And as far as I know, Japanese people do not consider it rude for foreigners to wear a kimono. They're happy to share this tradition with foreigners. I found something that I need to have. Can I have the special OG matcha dumpling? This is what it looks like. It's warm. Oh my god. So good, so good. Amazing. Oh my god. Soft and warm, and like, I just wanted to say that I'm actually not like the biggest matcha fan. Like, I do feel like matcha is a bit bittery, or I don't know, it just has this very unique flavor that I think you have to like get used to. And I never have much matcha back home, but this is like such a, you know, obviously like unique thing here, so I have it here in Japan. But it's definitely, again, one of these things that the more you have it, the more you kind of start to enjoy it. So one piece of advice for sightseeing in Kyoto: do start your day as early as possible, because do you see those crowds? Kyoto is basically known for being extremely crowded. The crowds here are intense, like, and the thing about Kyoto is obviously that there's not that much space here. The streets are very narrow. I'm not sure if you can actually tell from that footage, but I was not having the best day here. I was trying to put a brave face on because I did want to film this video, but weather tends to really affect my mood. When it's gloomy and rainy outside, my mood is also gloomy and rainy. Plus, I knew that I only had a couple of days in Kyoto, and I was really angry that this weather would make my experience worse. But one thing that I have been trying to remind myself lately is that getting upset over things we have no control of, like weather, is pointless. Because looking back at what I filmed, Kyoto really does look nice in rain, and I can definitely see what people mean by rain elevating the experience. One thing that I would do differently though is that I would share with you how I felt in that moment, because one, forced positivity on YouTube has always been pissing me off, and two, it's totally normal to have bad days when you travel and not immediately fall in love with every place you visit. And I've been traveling full-time this year, so constantly changing environments and getting used to new cities is difficult. And I honestly think that sharing like real and raw feelings like that does not take away from the video, but it only makes it more interesting. Unfortunately, it feels like every single school kid in Japan is like on a trip to Kyoto today. I did hear it was crowded though, and it is crowded. But the thing about Japan is that it's such a big country. The population of Japan is like 120 million people, so there are enough people here. And then on top of that, of course, you have international tourists. So what you see here behind me is the Kiyomizu-dera temple, and it's considered to be probably the most popular temple here in Kyoto. It's 1200 years old. Crazy, right? And as we go up, you will be able to see that it's located on the hill, so it's also a very nice viewpoint of the city. So Kyoto is actually considered to be like the city of temples here in Japan. There are about 1600 temples in Kyoto, and then like 1400 shrines, which is a lot. Also, another fun fact is that the main two religions here in Japan are Buddhism and Shinto, and a lot of people actually follow both of these religions in their daily lives, and they like peacefully coexist with each other. As I was exploring more and more of Kyoto, and I just accepted the fact that my shoes and socks will be soaking wet that day, it started to really hit me how unique and beautiful Kyoto really is. Kyoto is simply a magical city. I honestly really do think that magical is the best word that you can use to describe Kyoto. If you come to Kyoto, I would really recommend you to just get lost in the alleys. Just walk as much as possible. Get out of the main touristy areas, because unfortunately they are really busy, which makes it a bit harder to truly appreciate the beauty of Kyoto. Kyoto is definitely one of the most beautiful, charming, I wanted to say little towns, but it's not actually a little town. Like, the population of Kyoto is about more than 1 million. It does feel like a little town, especially here in the old town. I really like the fact that they really make sure that all the houses here are kept in the same like traditional Japanese style. But then when you look closer, I mean, this is a restaurant, this is a hairdresser, and you would like never think just looking at it, right? The next part of our little tour to Kyoto is something that I'm especially excited about. We're gonna go to Gion, the geisha district of Kyoto. So as you might know, there is a very popular book called The Memories of Geisha turned into a movie. I haven't seen the movie, but I did read the book many years ago, and I remember being super impressed and very interested. It is estimated that there are only about 1,000 geishas left in Japan, and majority of them live here in Kyoto in Gion district. It is not easy to spot them since there are not that many. Guys, this is it. We are in the geisha district. Oh my god, guys, I saw a geisha. I didn't think I would actually see it since there's so few of them. Geishas are professional entertainers who attend guests during meals or any other events. They're trained in many different traditional Japanese arts like dance, music, playing instrument, as well as art of communication. As I mentioned here, I was very excited to see Gion because I have read the book Memories of Geisha, and later that night I actually watched the movie as well, and I must say I was not as impressed with the movie as I was with the book, but I did read it many years ago. I was much younger. I totally do understand why many people felt like the movie, which by the way was American movie, the actress playing the main role is not even Japanese. The movie was not the best representation of Japan and geisha's culture. It's a Hollywood production, so you know, it's definitely not the best source of information on the topic. Today I will try to figure out a bus system here in Kyoto for the very first time. I have never taken bus in Japan before, and I feel like most of the time trains are a bit easier, so we'll see how that goes. But the place I'm going to is basically like on the other end of town. I think it's about 8 kilometers from here, so quite a journey, but I can promise you that it will be 100% worth it. So here is where we are, and here is where we're going. All the way to the outskirts of Kyoto, basically. Okay, so I just made it and got myself a ticket. This is the actual ticket. That's a very cool ticket. It was 500 yen. And this is what we're about to see. Oh my god, look at this. So we made it to Kinkaku-ji Temple, also known as the Golden Pavilion, and I knew that out of so many beautiful temples that you can see here in Kyoto, this was one that I could not miss because, well, it's beautiful and it's gold, like, and it really is just so unique. I mean, just the gardens around the temple are so beautiful and 100% worth checking out. It is very crowded, but to be fair, nothing I didn't expect. You just have to be prepared, like, you know, manage your expectations or come very early. But I do feel like even here, probably a lot of people have the same idea of coming early, so. Okay, so there is this tea house right here, so I think I'm gonna get myself some tea. This is what it looks like. You have inside and outside area. And tea with a sweet is 500 yen. 500 yen is a very reasonable price here. That's how much you pay for coffee or tea at Starbucks. So having it here with this beautiful view is 100% worth it.
Sugar cake and green tea, matcha.
Arigato.
This cake inside sweet red beans paste and salty soybeans. Gold ring on the cake.
Oh.
Please cake first, then drink the tea.
Okay. So cake first and then tea.
First.
Okay, let's try this. So I just found out that you do have to press the stop button if you want the bus to stop here in Kyoto, which is very surprising because this is the exact same way it works in Denmark. Most of the time you do have to request the bus to stop. Yeah, I didn't know that, so I went too far, but it's okay because I will get to see a little bit of the new side of Kyoto. Obviously, Kyoto is not just the temples and the old town. There's also like quite a big city around it, and the modern part of Kyoto is actually very modern. However, you can definitely tell that it is a bit more calm. I mean, a bit more calm. It's freaking huge, like, you know, huge modern buildings, but still, like, compared to Tokyo, obviously, it's just, you do feel that it's smaller and a bit less overwhelming. You guys, I just absolutely love Japan. I love it here so much. I don't want to leave. Guys, we made it. It is happening. We made it to Fushimi Inari, which is probably the most iconic place in all of Kyoto, and I left it until the end because no specific reason for that. I do feel like all Kyoto vlogs show you that in the very beginning, so I was like, okay, let me put it at the end and be a little unique.
Stop. Hey, tell me now, what's that?
So each of these orange gates is actually donation or a gift from either individual, family, or even companies can gift that or sponsor them. And that's why, as you can see, we're passing by their names of the people who donated each gate. So when you're walking the way that I'm walking, when you're walking up, you cannot see the names. It's all orange. But yeah, if you turn around, you can see.
Just the other day, you was running games.
Can't decide whether that was cute or fucking lame. Like, we just pretended as if he was like proposing to her here, or they took a picture like that. I mean, I kind of get it that you do want to have a picture like this, but like,
Girl, you call, and yeah,
so what I didn't realize before coming here is that this is actually like a hike. You can hike all the way to the top. Some sources say 40 minutes, some sources say that it takes an hour or two. I don't really know. I'm hiking. But the truth is that it's of course extremely crowded as everything else in Kyoto, but the more up you go, the less people you have. And here, this is probably, I've been hiking for like at least 20 minutes, maybe even half an hour. This is the first time I'm kind of ish alone ish. So I made it to the top, and the view from up here is pretty epic. So just so you know, when you're on your way down, you're gonna have two options. Either you're gonna walk down the same path you came up, so the orange gates path, or you can choose the other way where there is no orange gates, but you pass a lot of really cute shrines like this one. So I do 100% think that it is worth it to choose the other path on your way down. It's about 6:30 p.m. right now, so the sun is slowly setting down. But I did just realize that I've never shown you around my room. So rude. So I'll insert a little room tour here that I filmed where I just came in and it was not messy yet. Hey vlog, so I just quickly need to jump in here to show you my room before I make a mess of it. I always need to film this before I actually unpack because then it's like, you know. Okay, this is it. You come in, they do tell you to take your shoes off. And this is what you see. We have closet area here, and then this is the bathroom. We do have a bathtub, and this is like actual big human, aka me size bathtub, which is very exciting compared to my bathtub in Tokyo if you haven't seen it. And then this is like pretty interesting Japanese style room. Yeah, this is it. Simple, and I don't know if you can tell, but the beds are super low. It's basically like sleeping on a mattress on the ground. For Japan standards and for Kyoto standards, Kyoto is possibly the most popular destination, well, after Tokyo, in Japan. And it is quite expensive here. Accommodation is quite expensive. However, I am paying in dollars, what is it? Like $170 for 3 nights, which is super affordable for Kyoto. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. In general, it's super affordable for Japan, and this is definitely not a normal price for a place like this. I just got very lucky. You would pay a very similar place. You would pay a very similar place. You would pay a very similar price for a hostel, for like a dorm bed. But the only reason why I got this place for such a good price is because they're doing some renovation. So there might be noise, but they're saying that the noise is gonna be until like 4, which is okay because I'm gonna be out anyways. So yeah. Someone told me once that coming to Kyoto for 1 day is enough. And that's like literally the biggest lie on earth. Like, who has told me that? Maybe my brother. I will have to talk to him about it, because do not ever give anyone such silly advices as coming to Kyoto for 1 day. I came here for 3 nights, so technically only 2 full days, which is 100% not enough. If you have more time, I would definitely recommend you to stay here longer, because there's so much to do here, and just the city itself is so big. So beside the old part, it's also nice to at least like experience a little bit of the new part as well. I will be heading to Osaka tomorrow, but if I could stay here longer, I would 100% stay, because I really loved it. You know, coming here, I was actually a bit curious if I would enjoy it, because I love Tokyo so much, and I feel like Tokyo is really one of these places that I see myself in. Like, I would see myself living there. So coming here, I was a bit like, oh, you know, I wish I could stay in Tokyo for longer, but Kyoto is absolutely amazing as well, and it's just so different. So it's definitely worth to see both cities. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, and I will see you in Osaka. Bye.